Yep, children. So let us understand it in core. Okay, let us understand each and every aspect of it, where we are going to check the pattern of the paper, where we are going to check the syllabus of the paper. All right, we are going to check what are the benefits of taking it. Okay, sometimes, it does happen that we do not need to. English is something which is, a universal language, right? It is something which you cannot survive without, isn't it? So let us understand this thing very particularly, that becoming a master in English is something which is going to help you a lot in your life. Am I correct? Yes. So let's understand completely about it. So as I move to the specific part of what is AP English, let's get to know that. As I have already told you, it is a college level course, right? Which is offered in the high school, helps you to get better credits, helps you to get better segments in the college, right? Now, since you all know about it, that English has two different portions. One which is called as language, and the other which is called as literature, right? So we are going to become proficient in both of them according to whatever you opt. Okay, there are two different types of AP English. One is called as AP English language and composition. The other is called as literature and composition. Okay, so since the name itself defines, literature is going to look into the literary part, the techniques, the poetry. Okay, how exactly is the writer's authorial choices or the approaches, right, to get better or understanding of the topic. While on the other hand, we have language is moreover which gives you the proficiency in language. All right, how good are we in understanding or analyzing some data which is not actually literature. All right, can be statistics, can be some research, okay, published by some author. Am I clear about this specific part, guys? Yes, perfect. Let's move to the next part, next portion, where we are going to talk about the exam pattern. Okay. So, as I have told you that there are two different types of it. Now, let's get to understand one thing. There are two different parts of your paper. Okay. One is something which we call MCQ, which is multiple choice questions. Okay, consisting of 45% of your paper. On the other hand, you have FRQ, which we call free response questions. The name itself is defining it, right? Multiple choice questions, you get certain options, you have to click the correct one. On the other hand, we have FRQ, free response. You are supposed to write it according to what you feel, according to the data and the claims provided to you. Am I clear so far? Yes? Perfect. I move to the next portion, okay, where let's understand what exactly are you going to do in that. So when I talk about this portion, language and composition, you have multiple choice questions based on different things, such as it will be based on your identifying the main purpose of the data, the function of each sentence. Has anybody over here attempted SAT before? Have you taken SAT? All right, so you can say that, your MCQ paper is majorly the updated version or the upgraded version of SAT exams. All right, especially when it comes to language. Fine. Here you are going to identify the word in context, okay, which means a choice of words needed in a specific text. You will be identifying the main ideas, the purpose of the text. All right. While in your FRQs, you are going to refer to the text which will be provided to you, and you will be writing certain types of essays, which I will make you understand what type of essays are you going to write. Am I clear so far? Yes. Second portion is your literature portion, okay, or I must say the second segment of AP English is literature. All right, where again you are going to do both the things. You write free response questions and MCQ. MCQ in terms of literature will be based on the tone, okay, the spec films which we study. All right, source of the text, purpose of the text, what are the techniques used in the text. All right, how is imagery and symbolism verified in that. And when it comes to the second portion of it, again writing the essay, it will be more over literary analysis. Okay, you are going to analyze literature over here, right? Obviously you are going to write some specific essays, okay, provide according to the provided context to you. Am I clear? We move to the next part of it. Let's understand what are the benefits. Okay, so am I going to put, if I'm going to put, so much efforts, what is exactly going to give me in my life, right? Number one, it helps you to get better scores in your exam. All right. I mean, it provides you extra college credits. Number two, which is like very much important in this contemporary world we live in, right, is your skill development. You learn how to analyze reading, writing, and critical thinking. Next, it helps you somewhere in your college application again because you are becoming better in terms of English and your language proficiency. Fourth thing is to understand that, yeah, it definitely brings up or makes your confidence boosted a lot, right? Because now I am well equipped with my knowledge. I move to the next part, that how are you scored in your exam, right? So as it says that you will be basically assessed on two different portions. One is MCQ and the other is FRQ. Your original score, your cumulative score will be a combination of both of them, right? As I have already told you, MCQs are majorly done by the scanner machines, which is called digital assessments and evaluation. While when it comes to essays, specific teachers which are who are trained for this work actually do that the way it is done in your board exams, right? Let's get to know that what exactly the scale of your scorecard work. So you have again five specific credits. One you get when you are not ready for the college credit. I mean, I am not even able to, score or get the understanding of the topic. Number three, when you get qualified for it, along with this qualification, I must give you certain criteria, which I'm going to explain you going forward. Okay, what are the specific criteria which provides you that score? Okay, or which makes you eligible to get two or three or four or five. This is something which we're going to talk about, right? Number four, which makes you well qualified. Number five, which makes you extremely well qualified. We call it proficient. Hope this is clear. So basically, you have five credits which you get in it. I expect you to get minimum 4.5 to 5, right? Moving to the next part, that what is exactly this AP test, okay, or how are you assessed? This specific flowchart which you see in front of you is completely associated to AP language and composition, okay, which majorly students opt because, literature becomes a vast horizon or a canvas to read, isn't it? So majorly children go for AP language, but I, being a student of literature, love to analyze literature, right? So people like me would definitely pick up English language, literature and composition, right? Because you scrutinize yourself a lot when it comes to different types of techniques, right? Let's talk about AP language for now. So in AP language, as I have already explained you, MCQ is a portion. In your free response questions, you get three different questions, okay? I mean, three different types of essays to be written. You are supposed to finish this writing within 2 hours of time. All right. Moving to the second part of it, that what exactly do I do miss in this 2 hours and then in these three essays? You analyze. You analyze the text. Am I clear? Right? What do we analyze exactly? We analyze non-fiction. Since I'm a language student, I'm not so good in literature, I will definitely opt for it. Now, what is that non-fiction, or what are those things come up under this? Because again, this is a largest umbrella of English, if I say, right? Everything in the world falls under it. Non-fiction, right? Apart from stories and the plots. Fine. So let's understand what can be the different things which you can get in such cases. You might get a speech, you might get a report. When I say a speech, the speech has to be authentical, right? It can be a diplomatic, even a political speech. So we can, basically, again, as I said, it is a vast horizon, right? You cannot specifically predict, but yes, we as a team are going to analyze all the multiple types of non-fictions so that, we get to know about each type of it. Moving to the next part, you might get different types of reports, scientific reports, psychological reports, biological reports, right? Some sort of basically small research, right? Done by every different types of organizations. You might get some incident-based reports. Any kind of reports can be given to you. Next is data. Okay, you might get data. When I say data, I mean to those specific reports which also provides you statistics with them. For an example, I just talk about COVID. Okay, so how many patients were there in the contamination zone? How many patients deceased themselves? Everything will be given in that data, and we are supposed to analyze this, right? This is one of those questions which becomes under the first type of essays called as synthesis. Okay, we are going to understand that later. Next, you will be analyzing sort of some analytical writing. There can be a possibility that Shruti is a researcher. I wrote a report, and let's say Akshay, right? Akshay has analyzed, went through my report again, scrutinized it, probably agreed with my claims, and probably did not. So you write again an analytical report. Got that? So that analytical report can be probably provided to you. Okay. Both the type of different texts will be given to you, and you are supposed to work on that. Okay. That what are the differences and the similarities? We call it compare and contrast in simple language. Got that? Next, it can be even an anecdote, right? When I say anecdote or journal, usually they fall under the umbrella of fictions. But yes, there can be a possibility that I'm just sharing uh, a bicycle review, okay? But I am connecting them with my journal. All right. How will I do that? So let's say if I am a person who is not at all adventurous or not interested in kind of trekking and hiking sort stuff, but I met a person who was like very much adventurous. I met a person who loved riding the bicycles, and he, recommended me to purchase an eco bike. All right, which does not take a lot of efforts when it comes to my understanding of it, and helping myself to be a better rider. All right. So there I am somewhere writing a product review, but I am somewhere attaching it with my anecdote. We call it a specific type of technique called as pathos. Okay. Where you emotionally connect. Fine. So that is something which we are going to understand in our classes. Then you have, as I said, the three different questions which you get. This all which I spoke right away is with reference to it. The three different questions which you are going to do, right? Let us understand what exactly do we do in these three different types of questions. One is something which we call synthesis essays. Synthesis word itself explains it is kind of synthesizing, means making a collated inferences by all the different types of text provided. Okay, you get minimum 4 and maximum 6 sources of text over here. You are supposed to analyze all of them, create a sort of small bullet points about them, and write an essay which should talk about all 6 of them. Am I clear? Let me just give you a clue over here. All of the 6 essays are going to talk about one main idea or a theme. All right. So they will be interlinked somewhere. You are just supposed to identify one thing, that you read them well, all of them through, skim the knowledge, get the informations out, accumulate them all together and frame up an essay by giving them specific claims. Now, how do we give that claims? That is something which I'm going to teach you. Next thing is rhetorical essay. Now, this rhetorical name itself is a technique, right? So, rhetorical essays are more over technique based. All right. Now, when I talk about this part, rhetorical essays, technique based, see, English has two different legs, I must say. The way we want both of our legs, we want language and literature also to be learned, right? To be proficient in it. Yes, you are not going to particularly work on that authorial choices, but yes, you should know certain techniques, which we call rhetorical techniques. Okay, to write this essay down, you get a claim over here. You are supposed to write down a rhetorical essay based on that. Fine. Let's understand one more thing. All of these three questions will be some or the other way interlinked with the topic. I hope I'm clear till here. Yes, just send me a thumbs up if it is a yes. I am expecting everybody to please switch on your cameras. It seems that I'm teaching the walls. Prashant, Sanvi, Shweta, Ria, Ranjana, everybody, I would appreciate if you switch on your camera. Okay, let me move forward then. Yep. So the third type of essay is an argumentative essay. Here you majorly gets the claims made by, the different types of psychologists or researchers, and you are supposed to agree or disagree with their claim. All right. The name itself defines it. Argumentative essay. All right. You agree with them or you disagree with them. You should have valid points. Why do I agree or why do I not agree with them? All right. So for such cases, you need to present your opinion with the counterclaim. Am I clear? So let's say if I'm saying that I have two options, right, to be taken as my lunch box, fine, in the school. One is bread butter and the other is a kind of five types of fruits. Okay. So what shall I prefer? Okay. Let's say if a psychologist or let's say a researcher says, fine, that taking up fruits as a lunch cannot be healthy. Why? Because first of all, you have cut it for a long period back. So it is somewhere rotten. Second thing, it is full of sugar, which can spike your insulin for some time, but after that, you will again feel dehydrated and hungry, right? On the other hand, I have a bread, okay? Let's say I have another psychologist who tells me this part that when it comes to taking bread and butter, it has a lot of carbohydrates, which probably can make me lazy. Got that? Now, if I agree with the bread portion, I am supposed to present my claim by giving some supportive evidences. Now, what are those different types of evidences? That is something which I will make you understand. All right. And the other side, if I agree with the fruits, again, my approach remains same. I hope I'm clear till here to everybody. Yes. Great. Let's move that why or how are you judged? Okay. What are the different criterions in such cases? So there are four different criterias which are obviously taken care of when you write your essay. The evaluators check all of these four different ideas when they sit, right? Number one, criterion A. Okay, so basically they all merge together and make your 5 credits. All right, let's get that. Criteria number one is your knowledge and understanding about the texts which are provided to you, which is your interpretation about the text, which whatever you interpret by that, right? Or what do you infer as a knowledge in it? The second thing is known as the analysis of it. When we talk about analysis, all the different aspects fall under it. Techniques, were you able to identify what is the thesis of it? Were you able to identify what was the theme or the purpose behind writing this text or giving you this text? What do you think was the tone of the writer when he wrote the specific part? All right. Third is your focus. Okay. So let's say if I want you to, talk about the fruits. Okay. And you are just all the time telling me that bread is not a right option. You lost the focus. You are supposed to make the fruits my hero. Got that? Not the bread my villain. So that is something which we call the focus. Okay, you get the prompt, you have to align with that. For aligning with that, you have to decode the question first of all. Again, that is something which we are going to learn in our sessions. Next is obviously criterion D. English is a language, has to be spoken with accurate and appropriate things such as grammar, spelling, and punctuations. All right. So these are certain things are the four different criterions which you are judged upon. We have to always work on these criterions. These all criterions together make your 5 credits. Let's get back. So what are the different criterias? Okay, or I must say the things, right, which we have to take care of when we specifically write an essay. It's very easy, right, for the students many a times to understand or to infer the MCQs, right? Because you have a habit, you have taken SAT, you have done that multiple times in your school, in your Olympiads and the other stuff. But when it comes to writing, right, many of the times I have seen my students who lose their connect with the topic, and the reason is they do not know how to begin with it. Fine. Let's say if I am a student who knows the claims, who knows how should I write it, I know I agree with what valid point, but I do not know how to start my essay. Right. So that is something, giving it a kickstart, is very much important. And for that one thing, we have certain points which we are going to talk in today's session. Okay. Which might be helping you in your upcoming classes, not only in AP, but I think in your general English also, you will be taking help with it. Can we do that? Yes. Let's go for it. So guys, I have a trick which I usually use in my class. It's completely up to you if you would like to use that. Okay. Okay. So we call it, I specifically call it a teal method. I hope my screen and my annotations are visible to everybody, whatever I'm writing on the board. Yes? Great then. So T refers to the topic sentence. We call it teal method, right? T refers to the topic sentence. When I say topic sentence is my claim or my thesis. Am I clear? E refers to the evidence. Again, the other E talks about the explanation of it. And L refers to the link. Linking means how do you transit to the next claim. I hope I must be very much clear to everybody till here, right? So let's say I just give you a sort of an idea over here. So you can prepare a sentence like this. The writer uses pathos in give one evidence from the text to evoke the audience for an example audience's education or information or their knowledge about this specific thing. So this is sort of a stimulus sentence which you can utilize, right, whenever you are preparing an essay. Am I clear to everybody? Right? So basically, when we go through our classes, okay, I usually do such kind of practices with my children where I keep on giving them such kind of stimuluses, okay, which will definitely help them to write better. They get the ideas that how are you people going to prepare your sentences. Many a times it does happen that children are able to collect the concrete, but they are unable to bring build up the building, right? So that is something which we are going to practice a lot, okay. I'm moving to the next portion of it. Just give me 1 minute. I'll just remove whatever I have written over here. Yep. And now I go to the next point, right? So as I said, the essays. Okay, fine. Let's understand the structure of the essays. This is something again, which is my strategy. Okay, you can use some another one as well if you are, not able to understand this particular, that can work completely. So basically, I'm specifically talking about the essays today because FRQ, MCQs are something which can be, easily assisted. We will be able to practice them a lot in the class and we get them. Let's understand when it comes to specifically writing the essay. Okay, all the three different types of essay. I'm just giving a general kind of information about here. When it comes to writing an essay should be a 5 paragraph body. All right. 5 paragraph body, which is going to talk about your claim with the evidences taken up from the text. Am I clear? All the three essays are expected to be written in a 5 paragraph body. Fine. I'm moving to the next part. What is your first paragraph? Your first paragraph should be the thesis. Let me just elaborate what is this thesis. So when it comes to intro, your intro should have three different parts. All right. Part number one, which is going to give you a hook. Okay. Hook is something which has to be catchy because this is something which brings on the audience to you. Got that? Which actually connects you with the readers. Got that? So we have to, use certain techniques when we write this hook. We should use rhetorical questions. We should use proverbs. We should sometimes use, some specific kind of stat which can provide a better insight about the topic and your audience love to get to know about this. Second part is the synopsis of the topic. When I say synopsis of the topic, I will be particularly mentioning what exactly the prompt is requiring from me. Okay. So you can, oh, sorry. Yeah, you can specifically mention over here in the synopsis that the given texts are talking about this specific part where I'm talking about this claim. Got that? And the third portion connects or talks about the thesis. Fine. Now, what is this thesis? So thesis is basically the cumulative version of your claims. I'll be talking about this claims. What is this word which I'm reiterating constantly in my speech? Okay. So let's understand that. Let's move to the second portion of it where you'll be writing the body paragraphs. Right? Now, when I talk about again this body paragraphs are going to support your thesis which you have written above, this thesis. Got that? Now, what, as I said, they are basically interlinked, right? The body paragraphs and the thesis is completely interlinked. So, thesis is a combination of all the three thematic strands which you are going to frame up. Thematic strands refer to the topic sentences. Topic sentences going to talk about your argument or to your claims, whatever you are making over here. Got that? So let's say if I agree with fruits to be my lunchbox, okay, I'm supposed to give three specific reasons that why fruits can be a good option in being a part of my lunchbox. So I can say it gives me, a quick energy. It is like extremely healthy. And any third point you can talk about, right? Any 3 points. Yeah, it is easy to be eaten, right? A quick eating thing, basically, you can say, right? And then you have to give me the evidences about it. Now, if it is a synthesis essay, the evidences are given to you in the source. But if it is a rhetorical question, again, evidences will be provided to you. If it is an argumentative essay, you just get a sentence and you have to frame up your essay all around it. All right, guys. So let's understand that this evidence is something which you should know according to your researches of the topic. Yep. No number is basically, cross check that if I have written 50% of the audience, nobody's going to check that 50%, but it has to be strong enough. Okay. The next thing is explanation of it. So if I say this is my claim, if I say this is the evidence which proves it, what effect is it bringing to my people all around me, right? So how is it important is something which is defined in the third portion of it. I hope this must be very much clear now. Here is that technique given which I talked about. The writer uses symbolism in this evidence to create an effect of this and that, right? Fifth paragraph precisely is your conclusion. Conclusion helps you to reiterate your argument. You can call it reiterating your argument plus adding a call to action. I hope this must be very much clear to you, right? Is there anybody in our class who could not understand whatever I said? I would be needing a thumbs up if it is yes from everybody, if we all have got all of the things, whatever I spoke right away. Yeah, thank you, Ria. Thank you, Sanvi. I have got two thumbs up so far. What about you, Prashant? Okay, Prashant, thank you. All right, guys. So I have got to know that yes, my children have understood whatever I told right away. Isn't it? Okay, let's move to the next part of it. And let's get to know that how many students nowadays are taking up this AP exam. Okay, so that you get to know the intensity of its requirement in your life. All right, so let's have a look over here. We see in 2020, around 3,33,980 children have taken up the exam. You can say around 3.5 lakhs. Again, almost same. Again, almost same, even more than that. In 2003, if you see children, the intensity is increasing over here. 2,056,000. In 2024, it was 2 lakhs and 89,000 and so on. Fine. In 2025, I am expecting more than 5 lakhs children who are going to take this exam. So we have to understand one thing that, the requirement or the importance of the exam is like prevalently increasing. Okay. So I think everybody should at least once or twice take this exam so that, you also get to know and learn about the things. Also, it is going to help you a lot in increasing your credit scores. All right. So now I move forward. I will be talking about all of your doubts, okay? I just need some time, guys. Moving to the next portion of the text, okay? Here you go. Let us compare, right? That what exactly is specifically your AP language and your AP literature. Although I have already given you a sort of brief about it, let's still get to know a few more things. So I have only told you one thing so far, that the text type in AP language, its complete name is AP language and composition. Even over here, it's AP literature and composition. So as I said, since it is a language paper, you should know all the different types of writings. Thus, it remains non-fiction. Okay. On the other side, it is fiction and poetries. When I say fiction, I mean prose. Fine, not the documentaries at all. Purpose is to understand how to analyze rhetorically and argumentatively, basically checking your inference. of the text and your analytical skills. When it comes to AP literature, your specifically literary skills are analyzed. When I say literary skills, many things fall under it, right? The tone of writing something, the reason or the purpose behind writing this text. Okay. We also analyze the different techniques which makes your writing more creative and more effective. All right. Next thing is the skills which are particularly judged in AP language. So in language, it's persuasion. Are you good at persuading the audience? Because when you go to different segments of industries in the world, right? For an example, I want to become a market analyst, or I want to become a data analyst. I want to become an editor. I should know how to persuade my audience, how to convince my audience, right? Synthesizing is like very important. Synthesizing is just to collate the different types of data and the informations given to me. Rhetorical analysis, again, as I said, rhetoric or rhetorical something is majorly which is completely well spoken in the world. So this is something which has to be understood. When we talk about literature, it is majorly meant for those children who love reading literature, who know how to, who would, proceed in their life with multiple poetic or authorial kind of career. Okay, so here you get to know or you interpret different types of literary elements to make your writing more creative and interesting. Exam essays, as I have already told you, here you get a rhetorical essay, an argument essay, and a synthesis essay. Okay, the sequence is a bit different. It's first synthesis, second is rhetorical, and third is argumentative. Right? The marks weightage remains same for all the three of them. Second thing is AP literature. In AP literature, you get a poetry analysis, you get a prose analysis, and you get a literary argument, okay, where probably two different extracts are provided to you, and you're supposed to compare and contrast and I agree or disagree with the point which is claimed over there. Got that? Next is what is your career tie-in? So let's understand, as I have already told you, right, that if I want to become a person in this business analyst or data analyst, I should know to persuade people. Journalism, again, you should have great skills of synthesizing different datas and information. Politics, law, and all the different industries except literature, I must say, requires language and composition. There is none another way of understanding it. Okay, AP English gives you extreme exposure when it comes to language and composition, right? You get to know about the world, right? I do not think that anybody in the world is not presenting some or the other thing, right? An engineer presents his project. Okay, a teacher obviously does that job every day. A journalist does that, presents it, right? Then a lawyer again presents his claims in the court, right? Every industry, you present your points, you convince your audience, right? Even if I am a businessman, I should know, how to be great, a person who can have the greatest convincing skills, right? So AP language and composition literally gives you an exposure to the real world, I must say. Fine. AP literature and composition is something which is meant for the people like me who are more into literature, more into creative writing, all right, and would want to become a great author or a poet in their lives, all right. So again, I would rather, say that if you want to, or if you have that creative head, please opt for AP literature, all right. It will be helping you more in analyzing. Okay, it will be helping you in the industry of humanities, education, as I said, and specifically literature. All right, again, I'll say one thing: literature is not something, right, which is defined by a specific profession, right? We have engineers who are authors, we have communists who are authors, right? Even making a poster, if you guys know about what is the name of that, the gorilla girls, right, are the people who are creating the posters nowadays, moreover about feminism, right? But they are just using a gorilla head, right, with the body of a woman and making amazing changes to the world, right? They are exposing the real society. So that is done by literature. Got that? So again, it is not somewhere limited to one specific humanities segment. Anybody can be a poet or an author. Fine. So we can definitely opt for literature. But yes, if you want to be, a person belonging to commerce or journalism, mass communication, being a science student, you should go for AP language, right? Obviously, I must say one thing that I have seen many children who are great at the topics when it comes to chemistry and physics, but they are unable to comprehend the question. Okay, they are unable to identify what is the main idea of the question. So in such cases, I would definitely suggest you to go for AP language. Got that? We get to know, we learn how to analyze the text. I hope I'm clear. Yes, let me move to the next part. Okay, so this is a demo session. I would request you guys to tell me if you want me to take up any specific topic which you would like me to explain to you regarding AP language and literature, or if you want me to give you certain sort of tricks. Okay, I have some specific tricks, right, which I use with my children. Would you like me to introduce them to you? Right. Okay, guys. Just give me 1 minute. I'll be sharing a different screen for that. Okay, fine. I can use even this. 1 minute. So when it comes to poetry analysis, okay, as I told you, I am a person who love poetries, and I have seen thousands of people suffering in not able to analyzing the poetries. They find poetry, the most difficult part in this world. Right. And yes, when it comes to write an essay on a poetry, that task becomes like a giant mountain to them, isn't it? So let's understand that what can be the things which you can, gather out, which you can extract from a poetry, which helps you to make a better answer, right? Many a times it does happen that we understand the meaning of the poetry, but knowledge and understanding is a different criterion, guys. And analysis is a different criterion. Remember that, right? When it comes to your evaluation of the paper. So I can understand by a language, okay, or a specific sentence, but there can be a possibility that I have some another metaphorical meaning hidden in it, right? So let us talk about poetry. So when it comes to analyzing a poetry, I have an acronym which I use in my class, okay, which gives a better understanding to my students, okay? We call it spec films. Now, what is the spec films? Spec films are the all elements which you are supposed to extract from a poetry. Let me just introduce them to you. You know it already. It's just, I just basically help you to, I synthesized it, right? So number one is S, refers to source. Since I told you, you will be getting the unseen text. You should know what is the source, means what is the name of the text, who is the writer of the text, and what exactly does it belong to, context, the era. All right. Yes, when we read a poetry, we get to know about certain things that, okay, fine, it might be something which is set in London, or might be set in something, streets or a house or something. Context talks about the society. What types of society? Is it a patriarchy society? Is it an authoritative society? Is it a totalitarian society? Okay. And knowing about the different types of it, because, being a writer, what is my background belongs a lot. I mean, it impacts or influences my writing. Got that? So similarly to that, if you get a poetry, please try to identify what exactly is the surrounding of your character. What is he or she going through, suffering through, or enjoying through? Got that? So that is something which we call context, has to know that background knowledge. The second thing is purpose. Purpose is what is my major reason? What is the theme behind writing it? Okay. What is, some students call it central idea. What is the central idea of the poetry? Okay. Am I trying to evoke empathy? Am I trying to criticize patriarchal society? Am I trying to talk about objectification of humans? Am I talking about dehumanization, the Black community, or whatever? There can be the different types of purposes of my text. E refers to emotion. Emotion, see, there are two different types of emotions when it comes to literature, right? One, being a writer, what did I feel when I was writing? And being a reader, how did you feel when you read my text? Got my point? So they have to be same. If they are not meeting, at one same epicenter, you lost as a writer or you lost as a reader. Got that? So that is something which we call mood and tone. Mood is reader's reaction after reading it, and tone is writer's expression when he was writing it. Has to be same, as I said. Okay, so yesterday I was just hearing a song. You guys should also go through that. Okay, being a person of literature, I try to find out that all of the techniques from everywhere wherever I go, right? So I was reading, I was just hearing a song named as Dear Mr. President, written by Pink. Okay, so there she's confronting George Bush, Okay, and telling him that how good do you feel or how proud you feel, right, when you see homeless people all around you. So you guys should definitely watch, okay, the video as well as listen to that song, right? You will get to know that how accusative she is in her tone. She's very directly confronting the president that you are not a right leader, because you are allowing your people, your citizens, to lie on the road. Okay, you are taking up all the rights away. Okay, and we also have certain sort of feelings in my mind. Also, I heard a song of Blackpink a few days back. The name was Stay. I think now my children can relate. Probably, right? Blackpink is that Korean band of singers, right? So the song is Stay, where she's talking about that isolation or misery which she feels when her lover goes away from her. But yes, on the other hand, in the video, when you see her hanging around with her girl gang. So again, I found somewhere literature in it, right? That how contrasting the lyrics and the visual elements are. So this is something, right, which we guys are going to do in our classes for becoming great in terms of analysis, right? Next is C. C talks about craftsmanship or craftship, you can call it, right? Craftship is majorly the structure of the writing. Is that a specific type of poetry? Is it a sonnet? Is it a sestet? Is it a tercet? And multiple different types, okay? Now let's understand one more cue over here. If in a poetry or in any type of text, the sentences are written very small or fragmented in small pieces, right, adding a lot of comma or adding a lot of punctuations, which means the writer was not stable mentally, right, and had a lot of thoughts going on in his mind, and trying to fill in everything in one specific sentence. If a sentence is long, stretched long, the writer was calm. So these are also the different types of aspects which we are going to identify from the text. And that's what comes under craftship of the text. Next is F, refers to figurative technique. The basically, I must say, the giant monster of your literature papers, right? The different types of techniques, when I say anaphora, epiphora, a hyperbole, simile, metaphor, okay, synecdoche, oxymoron, etc. We are going to learn about all of them, and I will definitely help you in live poems to identify them, right? So you become like very much associated with that. I have I. I refers to imagery. Okay, imagery is also a figurative technique, but why did I make them, or actually, I actually broke it in a different part because, it is a different topic. Every poem, everything in the world has an imagery. Even when whatever I'm speaking right now, you can imagine that in your mind, right? So if a writer is unable to evoke that imagination, he fails as a writer. And if you are unable to imagine what the writer wants you to imagine, you fail as a reader. Got that? So that's the reason I brought imagery as a different point, so that we get to know about different types of imagery. Is it olfactory? Is it tactile? Is it visual? Everything. All right. Then, and why I'm specifically speaking these all technical words, because you're going to write them down in your essay, that the writer used visual imagery to evoke this description of the place, kind of thing. Then you have L. Okay, let me just use a different color so you understand it. Yeah. L refers to language. Okay, now when I say language, language is something which gives you the background of the writer. All right, from where did he belong to? Or from which era did he belong to? If he uses the word like thee, thy, you understand he belongs to some archaic era or classical era. All right, fine. If the writer is using lol, he belongs to this contemporary era in which we are living right now. Yes. So basically, these are the different types of languages, okay, which has to be definitely analyzed when it comes to the text. Next is M, refers to music. What is this music? If it is a poem, it's written, I cannot hear any music, right? No, it does create a music. It uses repetition to fit that hook in your mind, so you keep on hearing that specific sentence all the time, the way we hear the songs, right? And we start right after that speaking it, or we murmur it all the time in our mind, isn't it? Second, they use anaphora, epiphora, basically creates the rhyme or the rhythm. Fine. So that can be sung later. S again refers to setting. Fine. When I say setting, I think everybody knows that. When and where is it being constructed? I do not mean where was the writer sitting and writing it. I mean, where is your character? Got that? So this is basically one of my tricks which I use in my class, okay, so that my children understand how to get that all the elements all together, okay, and after that they just have to do one thing. Once they get all of the elements in their hand, they have to fetch their evidences, and it's basically a vice versa process, right? You first of all watch the evidence, then only you grab these all points, right? You just have to find out this is what you found. Second thing, you will found where you found it. All right. And third, it what effect is it bringing to the text? What if I remove the metaphor from the text? Do you think it will make any kind of change? Yes or no? That is what effect. So that's how you prepare your sentences later, where you write the writer uses symbolism in this evidence to create this effect. And you make it amazing, right? You have given your claim, you have given an evidence to prove that, and you have also proven it right in that sentence itself. That see, metaphor is important. If I remove metaphor, this effect is gone. Got that, everybody? I hope this must be very much clear to you, and I hope this can be a different technique. You must have enjoyed this, isn't it? Great then. So now, children, this is how I usually take it up. I would like to move to the next slide and try to make you understand. Okay, I'm just removing this. If you want, you can take a snap of this. Probably it'll help you in your life somewhere. You can take a screenshot of it if you want it. Yep. Great. I'm moving to the next part now. My annotations are not going 1 minute. Yeah. Here you go. So how can I score well? I got to know that yes, I am doing well. I am able to identify step one to infer the text, step two to identify, okay, all the elements, make a writing, everything is done. Now I would like to know how can I score better in that? Please read widely and annotate. Okay, so basically you have to read it twice. One is to overview the text when you just go through the techniques and the specific keywords. Second, skim through the text, highlight every point whichever you find interesting. Okay, I always suggest my students to go through the questions first. All right, so they get all the keywords, they know what exactly are they going to talk about. Practice the timed essay. Yes, your time is tracked, so please make sure that when you write the essay, not in that initial stage, but once you get to that intermediate level, start timing yourself, that how long are you taking. Learn the literary terms. This is something you do not have to bother about. I will make you do that in the class. Writing a very clear thesis statement. Okay, as I told, it has to be very much catchy and precise. If it is not precise, your reader will not be able to relate with you. Use evidences effectively and obviously accurately. It should not be something obscure, right? Obviously, you should know the score. Do not bother about that again. That is something which we are going to practice a lot in the class. I will be marking you for every task, whichever you accomplish in the class. You have to tackle multiple choice questions very smartly. We will be practicing them, right? Obviously, use eliminate methods, use comprehension methods. That is something which we'll be doing. And structure essays well. Again, we will be doing that. We will be learning how to write a clear paragraph and the clear topic sentences. That matters a lot. Okay. So, yes, I think I have made AP English like very much clear to you. Now let's get into the results of our students. So we have multiple, or I must say, a cloud full of students with 5 bands, okay, with AP, okay, students from AP Science, Microeconomics, English Literature and Composition, English Language and Composition, certain students with 4 as well. So we have like students who have done, a great job at it. Here you see we have certain more results right in front of you now. And there are many more pouring on. And you people are going to be the contributors in my next orientation, which I'm going to take, right? Where your names will be reflected over here. So let's understand one thing that, as I have already told you, it's not just a test. It's more over a challenge which you are going to give yourself, where you excel in the language, where you excel in the comprehension of it. Yep, guys. So, ma'am, if Kanashri ma'am, if you would like to intervene over here.
Uh, yes, ma'am. What can I do?
Okay, so if you guys have any sort of doubts, you can definitely ask me, or you can schedule your one-to-one counseling today by scanning this particular QR code, which is given over here. Anybody with any doubt, please ping in your doubt in your chat so that we can check it, we can answer. I am seeking for the doubts. Okay, Akshay, I can see your doubt as you have asked that yes, as you have asked that how can this be helpful for the students of IGCSE? So I must tell you, IGCSE students also get unseen passages, right, for their papers. So this will be definitely going to help them to infer better. And yes, this is an upgraded version of IGCSE papers. In IGCSE and AP, there is only one difference. In AP, they do not get the questions or the stimulus, small question and answers to be taken up. While it comes to AP, they are completely going to write the essays. Anybody else with any another doubt? Something about SAT exams. Bilal, yes, SAT exam is consisting of 800 marks. Okay, there are 11 different segments in it. Okay, you get MCQs. You have to specifically look into the text. You get small passages, the extracts. You have to identify main purposes, words in the context. You have to identify rhetorical synthesis where you have certain notes given and you have to identify what can you cumulatively write them in one, synthesize it basically, right? You get some data where you have to check that which particular option chooses the right and the appropriate data. All right. So definitely, yes, you can get the SAT ideas as well. Yes, Prashant, I see that you have written that your daughter is in ninth grade. In state syllabus, can she take AP? Yeah, why not? Everybody can take up AP English. She can definitely pick up AP English language. Literature probably can be difficult for her because she's in grade 9 right now. She should attempt language. Anybody else who has any doubts? Ria, if you have any doubt, nothing? Nothing yet? All right, great then, guys. I am done from my end. Okay, I hope I made the topic very much clear to you, isn't it? Yes. See you in my next class. Goodbye, everybody. See you.